republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, all board members are present. Ryan just called in on the phone. He'll be here soon, but he's going to listen on the phone until he arrives. Do we have any agenda items to table or remove?
We just have one. It is L2, which is resignations after publication. We have none of those.
We have a motion to approve the agenda. Mrs. King makes the motion. Mr. Hall will second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you. Next, we have the minutes from our October 27th meeting. Do we have a motion for approval? Mr. Nelson makes the motion. Mr. Hall will second. Is there any discussion? If not, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. We do not have any delegations tonight, but we do have a recognition.
So we're going to begin with a recognition, and that is, we are here tonight to recognize Bentley Williams. I want to tell you a little bit about her history as a cross-country runner at Ritchie County High School. Bentley started this year, as we shared earlier. She set a school record. The school record was from 2004. It was by Melanie Manning, so it's a record that had withstood time. And congratulations to Bentley for breaking that record. Some other things on her resume. She is a 4-year all-state, all-conference, which is, she's finished all 4 years in the top 12 in the LKC cross-country. She's finished all 4 years in the top 10 in the region. The last 2 years, I've been fortunate to watch her win the Ritchie County Invitational. She won that both as a junior and as a senior. This year, every race she was in, she finished in the top 10. So that alone says a lot. And if you're around cross country, those are really remarkable things. Also, I think it's important to talk about, it's also a team sport, that she helped lead her team to the 4th place finish in the state meet. And if you're like the rest of the people that are track and cross country folks, we watch Run West Virginia, and they do a lot of predictions. They say, here's how your team's going to finish, here's what we think. And then once it occurs, then they go back and say, this team performs higher or had a higher percentage of improvement than any team that participated. And this year, our girls' team was that team. So not only did she run well, she also helped with her teammates as they worked toward a goal together, and they performed very well at the meet. And that's, to me, that's also says a lot. She has been, this is her 2nd year visiting us. She was all-state first team last year, and this year she is first team again, and that is why she is invited here this evening. She was recognized as first team all-state for cross country this year, and her plans are to run cross country and track. In college, she's looking at 4 or 5 schools right now. I'm not going to tell you which one she's favoring, but I know. And she's looking at studying engineering. So I would like to take this time to recognize Bentley Williams.
When she finished what place at states?
Second. I know things. She finished 2nd at the So do we need to move somewhere over there, or are we good?
No, we can do it right here. I'm okay with it as long as everybody else is.
Let me take my glasses off.
Oh, okay.
Get one? Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Oh, she may have.
I thought she was coming around.
We should have gotten one of her here too.
Oh, she's not right.
Okay.
Give us just a minute, Ryan's joining us
Off the phone now in person.
in person. Dr. Jackson, did you need to get a picture with me and Bentley?
Okay.
You like cross country too?
I love cross country.
We're cross country. And we probably should have, so I want her and her dad to meet us back here. We're taking another picture. Come on, Tori. Take another one here. Because I now coach, I coach your dad, that's how proud I am. for coming here this evening and letting us celebrate her victories and letting us enjoy her these last, I want to say 4 years, but many years before that too. Since she's little.
Great, well, thank you. Up next, we have a presentation from Ellie Wyndham and the Ritchie County High School art students on the recycling fashion show.
So we've asked them to join us this evening and to explain this unique opportunity our kids have to participate in a fashion show. And Jules is our main model. So go ahead.
So I'll tell you a little bit about it. We have been participating in this, and this
Ellie,
is the,
can you grab that mic?
yeah.
Uh-oh.
I get to talk in there.
Oh, do you need me to
Yeah.
speak into it?
I'm
Okay,
sorry.
okay.
Go ahead.
We have been participating in this recycled fashion show. This is across the state of West Virginia since 2017, I think was the first year that we actually participated and had first place winner that year, and pretty much every year past that we've had at least one winner. And I've tried to have at least three or so models that would come out and decorate outfits. There are different categories. For instance, we have a newspaper category. There is a cosplay category. There is a mall challenge category, and we also have an anything goes category. And I think it's the Department of Natural Resources that sponsors the show. So the kids get some really good prizes if they win the competitions. But it's steep competition. Jules right here has one of the first outfits, and I'm actually going to have Jeremiah explain this to you and
Okay.
the process.
Alright.
This way Jules raising her outfit.
So I wanted to take the class just for this because I wanted to enter the Recycle Fashion Show, and I had no clue I wanted to do until Miss Wyndham was showing us inspiration, and she mentioned really wanting to do a cake dress, and I already knew I wanted Jules to be my model, and I thought, like, what's more perfect than a cake dress for Jules? So I kind of went for this little birthday cake design because I thought she would look really cute in it.
He's talking about me. Okay.
He's talking about
me. Alright.
Well, Jules, go stand next to him so we take your picture with you since you designed your outfit.
So
Okay.
this outfit has actually been built out of cardboard, plastic tablecloth, and dryer sheets. So that's the whole outfit there. And he's still working on it, so it's still in progress. So you can see the top he doesn't have completely done, and we are still trying to add more dryer sheets to it. So they're supposed to have them completed by the end of this week. She's also going to have little cake shoes too that he's going to be making her. So
Yeah, that's
I know, it ought to be
pretty
interesting. So let's go ahead and have Caroline. You want to talk a little bit about yours?
Uh-oh.
All right.
Well, normally you don't.
So,
Just tell us what it's about.
okay, so my inspiration was kind of a steampunk, kind of like robber, scamus kind of vibe, and my outfit it's a group outfit, and I'm doing it with my friend Gwen, where we have a male and female model. And the corset is made out of cardboard and crushed up movie pieces, not so much crushed as cut, and dryer sheets. And the dryer sheets are also dyed with dried out Crayola markers.
You picked it.
Yeah, oh, the top was also dyed
So
with
hers is the tall.
Yeah, this one right here. And hers is still in progress too. She's been working on it. So this, it's really nice to kind of see the back of it. And they're going to be working on shoes and stuff. But we use a lot of dryer sheets. We had a lot to use. So
Maybe.
it's just a good way of doing it. All right. Now I don't think Ember wants to talk so much, but I do want to show you Ember's stuff. This And then the top, hey Ember, can you pick up the top for us so that we can see it? She's
Ooh, I
built this
wanna see
out
it.
of, okay, so Ember's top is built out of an existing tank top, but then she covered it with cardboard.
I love it.
She has got pieces of recycled bag in it.
She went this way?
Yeah, walk over there and kind of show them. Ah, that's okay, you're fine. But she has done a really nice job of building it together. We didn't bring her pants that she's got started because they're not quite far enough along. But I'm very much impressed with how well she has done with this.
Wow, that's pretty.
Thank you, Jules.
Now she probably could hit me.
I'm going to explain the last two outfits that I have here simply because this one is completely finished. And this one I just had to show you because it is an interesting design that we came up with. The first thing I should tell you is both of these have been modeled before in the Recycle Fashion Show. We reuse our recycled fashion and we will redo it. In fact, the top of this one right here with the piano keys at the bottom was third place overall winner last year in the what was it? Mall challenge. Yeah. Do you want to pick up the hula hoop so that they can see it? Yeah, just pick it up straight up, just the hula hoop. So we're doing a design.
Help her out there. I guess we have some rain.
So this is going to it's going to be a kind of interactive, and it will pop out and kind of unfurl. Yes.
It does not fit me,
So this was a two-part costume. She worked on the top being all the music information of the music papers, and then doing the bass like that. And then this last one that we have is actually built out of. Denise, can you pick this one up now? Yes, this one actually was built last year. The skirt was built, and we had our model didn't model it. So I ended up giving it to one of the other kids this year. She took it all apart and remade it. So it actually has the neck tubes that were on the very bottom of all of the tables in the cafeteria. The custodian saved all of those for me. And that's what helps to poop everything out. That's the net coverings for this. So we didn't throw them away, we used them. Those are Ritchie Gazette and Pittsburgh News newspapers. The corset is actually made out of some of my covers, old covers for art history books. And then the top is actually made out of a recycled tablecloth top that we built at the very beginning. We used it like the second year, I think, that we were doing these shows. So we reuse a lot of the same things over and over again. We just redo them a different way. And nothing here, everything that we have has been recycled. I mean, it literally just, there's nothing that is new about any of this stuff. So this is what we typically do in my fashion and design. But if you're interested, we are actually going to be going down on November 22nd to the Huntington Mall, and they will probably have us on the news at some point because they usually have somebody there that will film it. So if you get the chance to, you should check it out. Oh yeah, last one here. I forgot. So this is going to be called The Last Straw, and there's over 1,000 McDonald's straws in this dress.
Wow.
So we they had to string them, and we spray painted them, and it's got seashells and stuff. So it's going to be like a mermaid dress. Oh, we lost one.
We lost one.
But anyway, you can see we have a lot of recycled stuff. Yeah. Does anybody have any questions? Yeah.
Are these students all in your art classes, or can other students
So,
in the building?
I do. I actually have two other students that are from Mrs. Summers' class. And we kind of swapped for a bit. I told her, I said, if you have any students that want to participate in this year, I said, you let me have them, and if I have students that don't want to participate, she took them and they did stuff in her class, which was a STEM class, and then I took them and they worked in my classroom. So they don't have their stuff here. The one is, he was the first one done. He did a Flatwoods Monster outfit, and I have a picture of it on my phone. I'll show it to you later. And the other one is doing a bubble wrap dress. Her dress is made out of nothing but bubble wrap in different shades of pink. And she was working on it today. I'm hoping that she gets it done by this Friday. But yeah, I try to incorporate as many people that want to participate as possible. Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, thank you guys for
Well, we
letting us know.
appreciate you coming, and we're sorry we brought you out in the snowstorm.
No, that's
okay. I see a lot about it on TV.
Yeah.
As you said, they'll put that on TV, and you all do so well at it. We just wanted an opportunity to let you know that we think they're great.
Well, thank
And
you.
we wish you well and hope things go well as you go down and compete.
Yeah.
And you'll have to let us know.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks again.
All right, we're going to take these, we're going to take them down the hallway there. Come on, Danny, come on.
Come on, Danny, drive on.
Do we have a motion for a brief recess?
Yes.
Do we have a motion for a brief recess? Mr. Holland?
Yes, take pictures of whatever you got.
We will recess for a few moments.
All right.
I know. I had to come to this. I mean, why not?
Then we'll put them away.
You got it?
I got it. If you want to pick up one and.
Oh, Miss Nutty.
Wait a minute, let me put my glasses up so I don't look, I mean, I know I'm old, but do I look real old?
Wonderful.
Got it?
So great and creative. Perfectly creative.
The trash bag is right here. Appreciate that, because we're trying to cover up the paper dresses. Either one of them, I'll take them down there and we'll get to them. All right, do we have a motion to return from our recess? Mr. Hall makes a motion, and Mr. Nelson will second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, thank you for allowing us to take
at
Go back at 6:20.
6:20. That allowed everybody to get their items safely secured and off the floor. All right, next we have the superintendent's report and academic updates.
So I just have a few things for you. In front of you, you have an event calendar, and I have listed things that are coming up, and some things have already passed in November, but I left them on there so you can see some of the activities that have taken place. And then I've listed December and into January. It's hard to believe, other than if you look outside, it's not that hard to believe that we are now getting close to winter. Tomorrow, as you know, we're off for Veterans Day. And then Saturday, you know that the Rebels are playing at 1 o'clock at Clay Patel in the first round of the playoffs. We've had Arts Bridge, we've had career fairs, we have an alumni basketball and a winter meet the team coming up. In December, you'll see some things like those Christmas programs for the elementary schools, as well as the public performances for the high school plays are listed for you there. It tells you that on Friday, December 19th, we will have an early dismissal for students, but there will be faculty senate for staff following that. We go to our holiday break, and we're off in January 1st. The staff comes back on the 2nd, students stay off on the 2nd, and everybody resumes back on the 5th. You also, we had this panic moment today, I think when Jacob and I were looking at some of this. We also are ready to start our mid-year assessments at that time, and start looking at how we performed and done so far, and then we start looking at data again. We're continually looking at data. So I just wanted to give you a summary of some things coming up. I think that gives you a feel for some activities and maybe some things that you can see how we have academics, but we also have some great additional activities as well. The other thing that I have for you all in front of you, you may have received this in the mail, but as you know, the West Virginia School Board Association training is this Saturday.
Well, then you want to know what time it started.
This doesn't say, but I believe it starts at 9 a.m. And I think it runs from 9 to 3:30. It is at Stonewall, but they sent this packet to me today, and it is like pre-training homework.
Oh yeah, there is something you're supposed to do ahead of time, so make sure you check your email and.
I made you a copy of it. This is
Okay.
what you're supposed to do ahead of time. I thought maybe that would help you have it in front of you to look at, but this is your pre-training homework.
You're just reading a case study.
And that's your case study. So I just wanted to provide that to you as well and remind you of that training. I do know that's a conflict for some of us, and we'll have that conversation later, because some of us have a son that played football. And that trumps, so we will work through that as well. But I just wanted to share those two things with you, is that updates for winter, as well as the school board homework, and that our game is Saturday. And that's all I have.
Something to see if I have it on here. All right, thank you. Are there any questions for the superintendent? All right, up next, we have director reports, starting with our chief instructional leader, Jacob Clevenger. Oh, thank you so much. You're amazing. Diddy, it starts at 9 a.m.
Yeah, it does. We'll be there.
It'll be there 7 a.m.
Way to go, Teresa. She's providing the info.
On ball. All right, so I passed out a few papers. I'll kind of go over them in order. The first thing will be our monthly attendance update. So you can look across and see kind of the trends we've had as far as chronic absenteeism go on a month-by-month basis. With the exception of Harrisville Elementary, all of the schools are about where they were. The Harrisville Elementary number looks like it has came up a little bit, but those are several students that are within 1 day or a half a day of not being on that list, so those numbers at this point kind of fluctuate a little bit. all of these numbers for chronic absenteeism are based off of the first 60 days of school. We just had our 60th day on the 6th of November. So any student who has missed 6 or more days at this point would be on this list. We have several students who have missed 6.5 days, 7 days, some that have missed 8. So all of those students will be on this list, but may not be by the end of the year. From where we have kind of been in the past, our district number right now being at 12.76 is very low for this time of year. Typically in the past we would be somewhere in the 17 to 18% range right now. So I just had a meeting on Friday with our communities and schools people and had a conversation about how, not that we can get there, but a possibility that we could reach potentially that 10% mark, which would be incredible. Not something that has been done before. As you guys have heard me say, 2-3 years ago we were in the 25-26% range as far as chronic absenteeism goes. So a lot of work has gone into that, particularly from our communities and schools, but not just them, the teachers, the principals, the families that get the kids to school. And again, they are doing a lot of work explaining to families that these are not just days you miss, they are doctor's appointments, they are sporting events, they're any reason you're not in school. So trying to schedule those types of things outside of the school day.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
I know educational leave is gone, and I know that that was a decision by the West Virginia legislature.
Yeah.
When it did exist, did it also count as an absence?
Yeah, so the only thing that changed about that is it just went from being excused to unexcused. But it did not change something like chronic absenteeism. Chronic absenteeism is a doctor's note, it's a dentist appointment, it's any reason that you're not physically in school. So whether it being excused or unexcused, when we looked at that information the other day, of the absences we have so far this year, I think we have around 6,000 to 7,000 absences, which sounds like a lot, but when you talk about 1,000 kids, right? 4,000 of those are excused probably. So the bulk of our absences are excused absences, things like doctor's appointments, things like parent notes. It's not really the unexcused absences that get us. We do have students that impacts, but it's typically kids who either have appointments or things like that and miss school. So just trying to encourage families we understand that therapies, things like that have to happen, but just try as much as we can to make them early, get them to school, make them late, take them out a little bit early, but don't miss the whole day of school. It's kind of what we're trying to get people towards.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. As far as the overall attendance rate goes, the goal that we're kind of shooting for there is 95%. We're at 94.49 right now, so kind of on track for that goal. Again, these numbers fluctuate daily. The biggest one to kind of look at too is this regular attendance rate. These are students who have a 95% overall attendance rate, which means at this point in the school year, these kids have missed 3 days or less. These numbers, when we started looking at this 2 years ago, were in the 40% range. So all of these schools being in the 60 to 70% range now shows how much work has gone into that. Basically it equates to a student missing 1 day of school per month. So if I miss 2 days in September, I know October I can't miss a day, to kind of keep on that track. The communities and schools people have been doing a really good job of months like November, December, where we have less days. Those are really good months to try to not miss school because there aren't as many days. So if I've missed a couple when I should have only missed one, kind of lets kids get back on track, and they do a really good job messaging that to families. And again, all this kind of circles back to the next part, which is all of our data shows the kids that are in school are learning, so just making sure the kids are there, and if the kids are there, then we're getting good outcomes. So that kind of ties into the academic side of this, which is the Third Grade Success Act. I mentioned a little bit about this previously, but kind of wanted to break it down step by step and provide a little bit of information about some of the things that we are looking at, that we're required to look at from the state, and then kind of explain different points of it that may be of interest, or we may come to you and ask for support in certain areas that support this initiative. So the Third Grade Success Act, which is also West Virginia House Bill 3035, was put through legislation, I think 2-3 years ago, with the initial target date being next year's third graders. So our current second graders, next year's third graders is the first year of students that will actually be impacted. When this legislation was passed, they were kindergartners. So all of this has kind of been building towards what's coming. We are not required to have done any of this, but we kind of have gotten a leg up and done a lot of this stuff all along just because it's good practice. But still a few things that you'll hear us talk about fine-tuning over the course of the next few months. So the overall purpose of this is to strengthen literacy and numeracy in kindergarten through 3rd grade, and to establish a multi-tiered system of support with a focus on early intervention. A lot of this is about communication to families, explaining to families that the earlier we identify an issue and the earlier we fix an issue, it saves a lot of work and struggles for students down the road. A lot of the work that we're doing now, you'll see things on here under the essential elements about the science of reading. Not just the science of reading for this, but the science of learning in general. A lot of these foundational skills that kids don't necessarily obtain early on cause a cognitive overload as the skills get harder. So if I struggle with a small skill and I get to a harder skill, I can't do the harder skill because I can because it takes some time. So building that fluency and automaticity in more developmentally basic skills in order to help them progress through the learning progress. Administration of benchmark assessments, you've heard us talk constantly about benchmark assessments. We look at that data, analyze that data. One part of this that will be new kind of to us is the individualized plan of improvement, different than an IEP, which is an individualized education plan. These are very detailed plans for students. So if you look on the next couple of pages behind that, you have an example of a literacy plan and a numeracy plan. As Mrs. Hott said, our middle of the year benchmark assessments are coming up within the next month or so. So once we have that information, it will be plugged in, and these are actually going to be mail merge sheets. So every kid's information will be automatically filtered into these and provided to the schools, and then they can use these to have meetings with parents, guardians, in order to discuss what can help those students. So we kind of the state provided examples, and we kind of went a step further and made it our own. But we felt like it would be a good tool for principals, for teachers, and for families to kind of sit down and have a conversation and see exactly what it is that these kids need. Because like I mentioned before, the earlier we can kind of get ahead of some of these things, it's going to make things a lot better later on for kids and for their families and the whole system as well. So the individualized plans will kind of explain how many daily minutes they need, what we're going to do, what can be done at home, and kind of create a team between the schools and the families to make sure the kids are making the progress that they need. And then these plans will be regularly monitored. If kids aren't making progress, they'll get more. If they are making progress, they'll get less, or whatever it is that we need to kind of find the magic recipe that works for those kids. Another thing that you'll see listed on this is extended learning opportunities. So things like after school, things like our summer programming, are things that we're having to evaluate to make sure that it is going to be effective for students. There will be some changes in some of those programs just based on the data that we have and making sure that we utilize our resources in the best way possible to make sure that kids are getting what they need. And then the other part of that, the essential element, is that parental communication piece. All of this is meant to provide families with information and to build open communication between the school system and the families, and to help them understand how they can help the kid at home, how they can do things in the community to promote literacy, to promote numeracy, things of that nature.
So these are kindergarten through 3rd grade that you do these in?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, kindergarten through 3rd grade. So the way that these work, there is a score requirement provided by the state. So there's a list of all the screeners. Ours are DIBELS for early literacy, iReady for numeracy. Based on what that student's score is, then we are required to send a letter if it's below a certain threshold. We actually will provide these for all students, so they may not have a parent meeting with every single one of those, but we'll go a little bit above what that mark is just because we feel like that's important, and that there are students who may get missed per se if we don't go a little bit above what that mark is. So that's what this color coding system kind of is. Technically from the state, the students in that pinkish red color would be the only ones that would get these letters, but we'll have those meetings with the ones in the yellow category as well.
So when you look at this chart, in the middle section where it says student support, what this allows student assistant team meetings, because students that are needing to be in a different tier for literacy would be on a student assistant team. So that means follow-up meetings with parents, discussions of things that the school is doing. So you'll see there's universal. So you guys have heard us talk about, we have amplify skills, Amplify is our universal textbook that we use, everybody gets that. Then you have Amplify Knowledge, and then which is still our universal textbook, that's kind of, the green is what everybody gets. And then the yellow is a little bit more targeted, that's like your tier 2. Here's some other things that we in Ritchie County do to give an intense look at issues and to focus on them if you need some targeted areas. And then when you start looking at the intense, which is level or tier 3, these are things that we do to really drill down on. So when your principals come this spring and they start talking about that, you can see that this plan was built parallel to the model we already have.
Yeah.
We just are giving them a tool to be able to have conversations, but also to have targeted minutes. So if we're saying universal minutes, they'll be 90. Targeted, then you'll be up to 120. The more intense you need, your total minutes will be 150. So it kind of gives them more of a roadmap, per se. Is that accurate?
Yeah, and those numbers are based off of research. So research shows the total number of minutes it takes to make up an efficiency. So if I am 13 percentile points below, that would equate to 1 grade level, and it's going to take me an additional 30 to 50 minutes of instruction per day to make up that gap. The universal is just going to keep me on the level that I'm already on. It's that additional that's going to help me catch up to my peers. So just kind of to make it equitable for all students, everyone's going to get what they kind of need prescribed, with the initial goal of I may need intensive for 3 years to catch up. Maybe I'm a couple of things behind if I'm a transfer student or something of that nature. So all of this is to get students all to the same outcome, which is reading fluency and therefore comprehension and success throughout their educational journey. A couple of more things on here to mention very quickly. The column on the right-hand side that lists good cause exemptions, I won't read each of those, but the students that will be retained based on the does not meet standard category on the GSA, there are exemptions to those, so it lists what those exemptions are. We will have a process to help families understand those exemptions and work through that process as they come. And then kind of the final part of this is the district responsibilities. The part that will pertain to you guys the most will be that first bullet point, which are develop local policies for retention, notification, and documentation. That's kind of the stage that we're in right now. These documents will serve as our notification and documentation process, and then we will be working to form a couple new policies and things of that nature to help guide this work. And then again, the second bullet point being to maintain that comprehensive documentation. So like I said, these sheets will serve to help us mark our benchmark and screener scores. These would be our intervention plans and outcomes, and then serve as our parental communication piece as well. And then also document our extended learning participation by them signing off if they will or will not participate on these forms. So, like I said, a lot of these are things that we have been doing for a few years. You've heard us talk about these things. It's not actually really coming to fruition until next year, but we're trying to get ahead of things a little bit and make sure that our kids are all getting what they need.
So I've asked Jacob through the next few times that he visits to spend time on the Third Grade Success Act, because it does go into effect for students that are in what grade right now?
Second grade right now.
Second graders right now. And they'll be next year, they'll be third graders. So we're starting to make some decisions, like when will we do their final test? When will we have a follow-up? Because there are certain things that have to be in place when we reach that point. So we want to make sure that we have given them all of these nets, let's say, to make sure that the number that we have to look at for potential retention is as low as it can be.
Yeah, and I will mention one more thing on the literacy plan, and it would be the same on the numeracy plan, but where it says area of focus, this is something we're really emphasizing to our teachers and our principals. You may have students who are behind in multiple things. So in the past, they've kind of tried to progress monitor and target all of those things individually. This plan will take it back to the most basic of skills. So for example, if I don't know my letters and their sounds, I'm not going to be monitored on my reading fluency, because I first need to get that initial skill and then build back towards my target skill at the end. So really just trying to go down to the foundation for these kids and get them what they need early on in order to help them later on. So thank you guys.
I got a question.
Yeah, sure.
On the exempt, it's
exemptions, number 7, about the extended school year.
Yeah.
If there's a student that's kind of borderline to passing, can you sort of require them to come to that extended school year and the instruction be structured towards their deficiencies?
Yeah, so number 7 refers to an example of a situation like that where a student would come to a summer program, be instructed on what their deficiency is, and then take an alternative assessment before the school year begins, something like iReady or another benchmark on the GSA, something of that nature. And then if that score is proficient, then they would proceed on with their classmates. Yeah. Thank you, guys.
Okay, up next, we have Director of Student Support Services, Sonia Platt. Thank you, Mr. Cloutier.
You're welcome. If you have any questions, let me know.
Good evening. Student training. So each year our schools are required to complete a series of state mandated student training similar to the teacher ones that Kelly talked about last week, or the last meeting. These trainings are tailored to the age and the developmental level of the students and cover topics such as safety, wellness, digital citizenship, and mental health awareness. So in front of you is a documentation form that each school uses, and they record on this form when they did each one. So my responsibility is to ensure that all schools meet every state and policy requirement for implementing and reporting. So as this year progresses, I will review each of these in more detail and provide updates. You guys have any questions on the trainings of the students? Okay, my next topic is assessments. So to remain compliant with state and federal testing requirements, specifically for the West Virginia General Summative Assessment and the SAT School Day, we must provide targeted staff training and development. So training topics will include test security and ethics, testing procedures and best practices, technology and the use of the online testing platform, and additional ones as well. We will administer the mid-year benchmark assessment in January, and all required trainings must be completed prior to the date. So I will attend the state testing conference December 9th and 10th, and then after that I will come back and I will train the principals and whichever directors needed during the district leadership meeting on December 16th. And then our January 2nd PL Day, principals will train their staff and the tech department on to ensure that they are ready for benchmark testing. So our main state testing window will occur in May, and that's when we will take the GSA. We will conduct a refresher training in April to make sure that all staff are fully prepared to administer the assessments correctly and confidently. You guys have any questions on assessments?
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Right, next we have the consent agenda.
We have 12 items on the consent agenda. I ask that you approve. The first one is in lieu of transportation. We have number 2 and number 3 have come from a need from the high school and the middle school. The principals and athletic directors have asked us to look at athletic clock and system operators, and we provided those for you to look at as examples. That would be to help them, especially the first one that we will ask to be posted is during the winter, because oftentimes when they are at ball games as the administrator, they also have to sometimes run the clock. And that's become or beg someone to run the clock. And so they've asked us, and if we could post that, and they asked us early enough to where we put some money aside to be able to do that. That doesn't mean we'll find anybody, but we are going to try, if approved. And also, in the fall, we were fortunate to have Glenn Hoffman be our athletic trainer for football. And in the spring, we have had times where large events, whether it be a large track meet, a large softball, the winter basketball tournaments, that we need to have someone at those events as well. So we are going to ask you to approve a job description that is for a limited sports trainer for the winter and the spring. Also, you should have a copy of the winter sports freshman schedule. It is incomplete, but they gave me what they had at the time. I will bring it back complete once they have it finalized. You got the middle school wrestling schedule as well. And then 6 through 12 are trips that we could potentially take out of state and either travel out of state or play out of state. And I just wanted to get those approved as well. And I ask that you approve number 1 through 12.
Okay, do we have a motion to approve the consent agenda items 1 through 12 as stipulated on the record? Mr. Reed makes the motion, Mrs. King will second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes, and now we move on to posting those two positions.
So, yes, that's correct. So I put them separate because now I would like to have your permission to post those in order to find people to run the clock and be systems operators for events in each spring season. And then we will do this again next year for fall football. The way the principals ask us was they want someone to operate a clock, and if you looked at those descriptions, it's for games that require specific knowledge to run. It's not just to keep score, if it requires specific knowledge of the game to run the clock. That you have to have a clock manager, you have to have a cameraman in order to make the event take place. So it won't be for every sporting event, but it will be those that they have designated to meet the requirement that they need someone trained and knowledgeable. And so I'm asking that you let us post those as we need them throughout the season for the middle school, high school, as well as posted the limited sports trainer for both schools as well.
Did you figure out about how many events are built?
So I calculated, the original calculation is around 20, but I put up to 25 events because we could hold the regional basketball game, or we could hold an LKC game. So we left some flexibility in there, but if someone's interested in it, we have looked at the dates and the time that would be involved as well, so we could share that with them. But what we did was we went back through and thought about, when Mr. Knox has done this for many years, what events was he at? Wrestling tournaments, yeah, big track meets, that kind of thing. And so we listed those events and anything we knew that was coming up, and I'm asking that we can post that position.
Basketball tournaments, I feel like he was there too.
Yes, that's correct, they're listed.
Alright. Go ahead.
Like for the clock, is that gonna be like per event paid?
Yes. So it'll be multiple people that apply.
Okay, that's well, I mean, not
It's kind of like, I mean, it's.
Ticket workers.
It's not
Like
like.
a ticket
Won't be a
kind of-
Yeah, that's what I
salary,
meant.
No,
per
it's
day.
per
Okay,
game,
that's
yeah.
what I-
And it's kind of like a ticket worker. It's like so
Okay,
much
that's
per,
what I was gonna say,
yes.
'cause not everyone can do it
And,
every game.
right, and so it'll be like, that's how they'll manage it.
Okay.
But it'll also be that, you know, they have to have some skill as well, and knowledge.
And did you say, I was gonna correct one, did you say that was middle and high, or just
Which one?
the clock?
Both. Yes.
So we'll need multiple people who have the opportunity.
Opportunity to do that. We will not leave anyone out that wants to help. Run clock.
Alright, do we have a motion to approve the posting of these two positions? Mr. Hall makes the motion, Mr. Nelson will second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Next we,
Question, and maybe this isn't the right time for me to ask, but streaming of games seems to be a big thing in the counties around us. Like, what do we do to stream things right now? I know there are paid subscriptions like through NFHS or something.
NFHS.
So someone has to pay for a subscription to see. I know some surrounding counties, Calhoun and Doddridge, are partnering with some outfit to do them, and they're, I think, free now, because I've been asked about it.
we might be doing it with the TV station though.
Yeah, yeah, so that, I think it's something, but maybe not the right time to bring that up, but it was kind of, we're talking about sports, but it'd be good to explore that to where it's not a paid subscription, if it's possible, just to see what's involved. Calhoun,
companies like Comcast do that, that it's kind of.
It's like, there's the RCWB or something, I saw a post about it. Anyways, I
I
just,
wonder if there are
in the
counties
winter,
that have
it's a great,
a similar provider, like, I feel like our county, when it comes to TV stations, we're both provided. From the
Yeah.
Clarksburg stations to the WTAP stations.
it's not a, I don't know that it's a TV station, but
So it's more like a.
I don't know. I
So
think
that would be a good thing for
someone should look
Chris
into
Gilbert
it.
or the technology people look into.
Okay,
Yeah.
we'll put that on further
I'd like-
discussion.
Because we could talk about it all day, but we just don't know.
Yeah, I'd like for someone to look into it, I guess, to see, because winter sports are sometimes harder to travel for. There's a lot of games, and it'd be cool, especially for people that may wanna see wrestling matches or things that they're just not traveling for. I think it'd be great.
Okay, more to come.
Yeah.
Okay.
Up next, resignations.
I have given you a letter, it was written to you all, so we made a copy for you. Deborah Sheets, Debbie Sheets as we know her, is retiring as of December 31st after 24 and a half years with Ritchie County Schools. And she wrote you all a nice letter that I thought I would share with you. She also retiring at the same time is her husband, Rick Sheets. He is one of our best operators. So I ask that you approve those two resignations.
Okay, we have a motion to approve two resignations. Do we have a motion to approve? Mr. Reed makes the motion and Mrs. Keane will second. It's very nice for someone to write us a nice letter.
And his was nice as well.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Rick's my grandkid's bus driver, not me.
Yes.
Because he's very, very good at it.
That's right.
And next we have employments.
This may be the shortest employment list we've had all year. We have 3 employments. One is Tricia Allen as a restricted sub, Cassidy Tansey as a classroom aide at Smithville, and Charles Rosenecker as a substitute aide. I ask that you approve those as stated on the record.
Do we have a motion for approval? Mr. Reed makes a motion, Mr. Hall will second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Next, we have payments of bills in the amount of $573,215.24. Do we have a motion for approval? Mr. Nelson makes a motion, Mr. Hall will second. Is there any discussion?
I had a question.
Alright.
I'm just curious, because I know we've talked about in the past, the Dolly folks,
Yes?
Dolly books.
Oh, yeah.
Is that like stay the same?
Oh, the Dollywood Foundation.
Yeah, Dollywood, thank
The
you.
Imagination Library?
Yeah, is that usually the same amount each month that we pay, or is that differ?
We just got the invoice today that I actually took to Lisa, and the bill said for the whole year.
Okay, I wasn't sure, I
It's
was
a
just curious.
one-time thing, usually we budget a certain amount for the year.
Okay.
It comes out of Title I,
Just curious, I just didn't.
We just happen to have the 2 people in the 2 departments at the board meeting that handle that.
I know my kids get the books, it's a very good thing for
Yeah,
the kids to get this.
I knew
yeah.
that, I was just curious.
Okay, any other questions? Not all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Next, we have financial requests for approval.
We have a few supplements and transfers, and in transfers, there's about 7 or 8 of them, and mainly what they are, once again, is when we go to budget, whether it be a grant or the beginning of the year, we put it in one line item, and as we spend it, we divide it out and transfer it into the line item so that we can track it more accurately, so we can make further decisions on it in the future. So we code it under something we can follow. Also, we have, like, for an example, we have a mapping grant we just got. Well, it came in one line item, but it's for 3 different schools, so we want to transfer it out with a number that puts it at those 2 schools. So that's an example of why something is transferred. So we have those transfers, and then we also have 2 supplements. One is a Communities in Schools from the American Legion, a donation for Christmas gifts and needed supplies for students. And the other one is a Parkersburg Area Foundation grant which helps buy special ed equipment, and it has been designated for that for a number of years. So we just received those 2 grants. And then also under finance for approval is we have the sealed bid awards for old buses, a 2011 and a 2013, and the person that received the bid is Matthews and Son Incorporated. So I ask that you approve the financial request as stated.
All right, do we have a motion to approve the financial request as stipulated on record? Mr. Hall will make the motion, Mr. Reed will second. Is there any further questions? Not all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Request for agenda items for the next board meeting. I think Mr. Hall, you have an item you want to discuss in the future that you mentioned a few moments ago, so any further?
Yeah, I will add to that. I remember Chris Kress at Dodgers talked to me about that at the game Friday.
Well, you should investigate with him more.
Yeah, well, I forgot. He did say that you buy one set of equipment is about $5,000, and that you're in charge of just operating it. So if you want more equipment for more simultaneous games, you would have people that run a camera and the equipment to stream it.
So you'd have to have more people out.
I'm sure you would have interested parents at the game that would want that to be streamed, that would operate it. Yeah, you train them on how to do it. I can't imagine it's much harder than FaceTime either. But you probably
There
set
are a
up
lot of
track.
parents who sit and FaceTime a game
Yeah.
to their,
You get to hear a lot of funny comments too.
yeah, I'm
But-
always really nervous if they're Facebook Living a game too, but
Yeah,
So-
somehow he said it's pretty legit, they're doing it at Dodgers. And it was funny that our game Friday was being run through that, but it was Calhoun that was doing it. And you could almost just do it at the home games to where if there's several counties participating, it would always be streamed, in other words, if they're all using that same service, which it seemed good, but someone needs to look into that more than what I do.
right, do we need to set a date for the training, is that what you want to do? Yes, is that one meeting in
It
November?
has to be done by December, in December. It has to be done by December 31st.
So, right.
So we can do it after the next meeting, but I just want you guys to not,
But we only have one meeting.
because it needs to be added to the, I don't think the agenda looks real big for the next one.
I'll say after.
You can add one, or I can not have directors come and we can make that one shorter, or one we're having.
It's an hour. Are you guys comfortable with,
Our next meeting is December 8th.
okay. So we can try to do December 8th, or we can have a special meeting. What is the preference of the group? Our options would be, I don't think anybody wants to do December 22nd. We could look at December 1st or December 15th.
I'm fine if we have another one, don't matter.
How are y'all schedules look?
But there,
Terrible.
but I would.
Well, we don't want to do Thanksgiving week, so December 1st or December 15th, do we have a preference on a special meeting date to do the training as required? The first. The first is a preference. How do y'all feel about December 1st? Denny, that's so cute.
Leave Denny alone.
I'll know what I'm doing.
Either.
Take your wall calendar off, okay?
Makes you feel better.
December first, what day?
December 1st work for you, April?
Yeah.
Okay, let's plan for December 1st,
What time do you want to do it?
6 p.m.
Okay. And it's just for the training.
Just a training.
Okay.
That way we don't have to worry about other business, so. And also, don't forget, as Teresa gave us our lovely schedule for this Saturday, for those who do not go into the football game, that we are having training. And so I did tell you I was somehow put into the role of the co-chair for the Economic Development Committee for the State School Board Association. I don't know how that happened, but they announced it, and that's how I found
involved with the communities and schools with a number of activities right now as far as providing, meals and things for Thanksgiving and putting things together and making sure that families in need also get things that they need on the holidays. They've been very actively involved.
There might be other places doing that, I just noticed it at Save a Lot Pittsburgh, so.
I have a question about funding for community and schools. Is that going to continue?
What they do is that it continues, as far as I know, they plan to, but that would be,
It's a legislative
Yearly-
decision.
It's a yearly thing, an
Yes.
annual thing?
right, but it goes down every year and a half.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Because they
It's
do
really
a
nice.
Yeah,
tremendous
Governor
job.
Justice funded it before he left office, but it's part of the state budget.
Yes.
And so that's supplemental, and you never know what will come through the legislature and the next step in the current governor.
But it's a very good program.
It has been very beneficial. for us.
Make sure you tell your delegates and senators.
Brian knows I will. I think I'll call him.
All right, any other committee reports? Did you have something else to? No. Okay, our next meeting, regular meeting is December 8th, but we also will have a meeting on December 1st for training. Do we have a motion to adjourn at 7:03 p.m.? Mr. Hall makes the motion, Mr. Nelson will second. All those in favor, please signify